I have some of the most unsellable properties in this state.
The very first murders were in this room. Everyone who lives here may just suffer as they did.
This one, well, it has a history that turns people off.
Hi, so you're looking for a sales expert. I can sell anything.
Isn't that what you want? That's what I am here for.
You lost your job.
I've pretty much sold everything, and believe me, I'm up to the challenge.
Well, you just might be in luck. You need the right property, and I need the right man.
Beautiful, idyllic abode will remind you of what the good life is supposed to be. Hello? This house has a bit of history. Apparently anyone that moves in kind of sort of ends up dead.
Kinda sorta dead.
This here is truly the perfect place for that couple looking to take their lives to the next stage.
What stage is that?
I have a house I'm trying to sell, and I need to come to some type of agreement with the current occupants.
There's someone here.
Stop! This door's probably very expensive. So technically, it's a smart home. The furniture knows exactly when to move itself.
Hello, everyone. Today's guest is, actually, this is a different interview that I've done. It's more of a conversation between me and my brother, Andrew Roth, actor Andrew Roth. The title of this episode, we're going to call it, it's Our Journey. For the last 15 years, I've known him that long. We've done a lot of things together on podcast and face-to-face and vacation. And I just want everybody to get a listen to our pasts and our futures. So without further ado, my very special friend and brother, actor Andrew Roth. Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Scott. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear. It's good to hear from you, my brother. We did a lot of things together in dating way back to 2010. It's kind of funny how I came across you. It was actually on LinkedIn, of all platforms. That's kind of weird because you're probably one of the only few that have ever contacted me about doing an interview through LinkedIn. And that's kind of stuck out to me. But after phone calls, and we kind of realized that, if you remember, did you watch the interview that we did in 2012? Have you watched it?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
The very first thing that was mentioned in that is, Andrew, I've known you for a long time and did not realize it. 1981. It was at a campsite that our journeys has passed when we were kids. I'm 2 years older than you, but we have the same birthday too. That's the weird part about it. Yeah. And we realized that umpteen years later. So that kind of built this bond between me and you. At the time, I was a podcaster. I'd review movies as Gruesome Herzog, and I would do interviews. And then you were the actor that I've got to watch the films and got to talk to. And before it's said and done, after doing all these interviews and stuff, I end up doing voiceover for movies and also acting in movies myself. It's kind of weird how that turned out. And we did do one scene together. That never kind of came about. As far as I know, has never been made. But I want to start with, how have you been? And we can get into conversations because I went through a lot in my life too during our relationship. You tell me, I know you have something that you have memoirs going on right now, but let's just take it when we first got together and started talking. Then, and then I can jump in and give my words on it.
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time, Scott. It's good to for us to be connecting. I'm glad you took that first step a couple months ago. But I think your friends should know. Originally, you reached out to me because they saw my most recent film called For Sale, which is a comedy about this real shady house salesman. Actually, starts off as a car salesman. His name's Mason McGinnis. Uh, it's becoming kind of, we're really fortunate. We got picked up at Gravitas Ventures, and it's really taken a great life of its own. It's getting a lot of views. It's on Apple TV, it's on Prime, Roku, Tubi, Comcast, and Xbox. And yeah, but, I don't do a lot of comedy. Most of the films I've taken on in my life have been dramatic roles, tough guys. I used to do a lot of MMA stuff, a lot of fighting, trained in martial arts. I've been a stunt choreographer for several films. So that was a lot of the stuff that I did. And it's like kind of a lot of the stuff I don't want to do anymore now. So I'm looking to do more of the stuff of spiritual and faith based because it's kind of the way I'm moving in my life right now. I've always moved that way. Anyway, I've always believed in something greater than myself. And for a portion of my towards the end of my not career but of my acting days, because I took a break for a while. I became really heavily addicted to alcohol, and I had to get myself checked into rehabilitation. And as a matter of fact, September 14th, just last week, was 11 years alcohol free, for me. So I'm pretty proud of that.
I am very, I'm very proud of that. Um, you brought that up, and that's during that time. I wasn't just a fan of your work. I wasn't just a podcaster. I was your friend, and I've supported you and helped you because sometimes that era of our relationship, you're on a path to destruction. And a lot of us, close friends of you, have, tried to keep you from. We knew the situation and we talked about it, and we tried to keep you from not hurting yourself, but hurting your career. And we safely did that. That being said, um, you know as well as I do that our friendship was really close, and I was there to protect you, and I wasn't forced to. It's because I care about you, and I understand that. I mean, it was bad. I mean, we're past that now, and I'm proud of you for the last 11 years. But it got to the point to where you realize it was time to get my ass straightened out. It was time for me to.
I didn't. I got. I didn't go on my own. It was somebody calling the ambulance on me. All that good stuff. It
Yeah,
wasn't something I did on my own. But getting sober and
yeah.
sticking it out,
So,
yeah, that's a conscious choice for anybody who decides to get cleaned up from alcohol. So
well, if you remember correctly, I even went to a couple AA classes with you. Remember in Reading? I mean, I was there. I was there
no,
supporting you. I mean, that's how much you meant to me. That's how much I think our friendship was.
you got to speak in the present tone. Mean, not meant, not mean. Mean to me, right? That's how much I mean
Oh
to you.
yeah, that's what I mean to you.
I'm not dead.
It's I know, but and then of course, when you were getting help and you went to Florida, is that right, with your mom and dad?
That's right.
And after that, I think that's when you went to get yourself sober, and you've told me in conversations that a lot of people that you just was not in contact with anymore. And
Yeah, I kind of got sober the wrong way. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
I just cut ties with everybody, and that's not which is something that you're supposed to do. People, places, and things. It's like you got to change it all, but not the people that care about you.
Right.
So I was kind of just trying to escape the shame of all of it, and I figured that if I just forgot about everybody, I would not remember any. Kind of like that. It's not the right way. That's not how you deal with trauma. That's not how you face it. which is all about some of the things that I, doing and being accountable and forgiveness. It all starts with the self, and we got to go look. Everything starts with ourselves. We are the beginnings of our problems, and we are also the end.
Right.
So,
And I struggled with that for a long time. Andy's gone. He's not in my life anymore. And then I learned, and I know that we had one conversation out of the sky blue. It was in 2018. I was a assistant manager at a Walmart, and I can remember you calling me, and the conversation was not what I expected. That conversation, after what you went through and got yourself better, I was going through some bad times. And the conversation that I wanted Andrew Roth to be there for me on my bad times. But Andrew Roth did not want to listen to me. Andrew Roth did not want to support. And it involved my wife, what happened there. And Andrew Roth didn't want to hear what I had to say. And that was the last time we spoke. And that upset me because I wanted Andrew to be there for me like I was for him. And the whole point of this conversation that we're having is not to bash Andrew Roth or not to bash Scott. It's for me to get out in the open on our journeys for a better life, is to get through some bad and get to the new. And that was the last time that I ever spoke to you, because in my mind I said, you know what, fuck him. If he doesn't want to listen to me, then I guess our friendship is over. And that's basically how I thought. I never said it to you, but that's how it ended. And then as you mentioned earlier, I wouldn't even look at a movie that you're in. I would not watch anything new because it hurt me. When I saw Andrew Roth on the screen, I didn't want no parts of it.
I bet a lot of people feel the same way too.
I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean, but the fun, the times, it flushed back in my face.
Yeah, it's a trigger. That's what it was.
Yeah.
People who I hurt, and seeing me do a film that's gotten 5-star reviews on IMDb. We have a number 4 rating on the torrent meter. That's they get angry about that. They're like, "Why is this SOB?" You know what I mean? But
I never
paid my dues. So
I never went that. I never ever went that route. That was not what I meant. I just said, if he wants his new life with his new friends and doesn't give a shit about anybody who supported him, then it is what it is. I can't force Andrew Roth to talk to me. So I went my own journey, and the struggling journey that I needed you were not there. And I made it through, of course. I'm not a pussy or a baby, but I made it through. But I always thought to myself, boy, it'd been nice to have Andrew in my corner. But that's past. We're now in the present. And it was the weirdest thing. At the sky blue, I was on my way to work, and I messaged Andrew. And I wasn't even thinking that Andrew would ever respond back to me. But he did. He didn't know who the phone number was at first. But when he realized who it was, it's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever experienced. Is knowing that probably 6-7 years of not hearing from each other, after we get past the I'm an asshole, I shouldn't have treated you that way, the friendship started again exactly where it was before the incident even happened. That just tells you how much of a bond that you and I have.
Well, and then I want you, the takeaway from all of this is for your listeners is, again, not that Scott and I are bashing one another.
No,
I
no,
gave
we're not.
the idea, the suggestion to Scott that we kind of clear the air and we use our example so that people know. I mean, which is what my show is entirely based on: forgiveness and accountability. If you have an argument with a friend and you have a disagreement and you really love each other, you care about each other, you say sorry. Even if you don't even feel wrong, your friend is hurting. It doesn't diminish you. It doesn't diminish me to say sorry. Even if I didn't do something wrong, in this case, I clearly know I did. And I was, anyway. That takes the accountability. And then when you forgive yourself from it, you can move forward and have a new past, and you don't continue to hurt one another. But it takes work. People say they forgive and they forget, but they don't, because then they throw it up again on somebody in the past. We can't use the past to dictate the present.
You're right.
We'll never be in the present moment then. And to be totally free of something and to be unattached to anyone's past, which is, again, what my show is about, my memoir. It's going to be a live one-man show entirely based about my life, from childhood, a lot of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, things that most men don't admit. And I've learned that when you admit the things that you're most ashamed of, that's when you really, truly heal. I mean, to total strangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you really become truly healed from it. And you help show other people how they become healed. You give them keys to the prison that they're locked in, because you become free from that. And that's my goal by, doing my story. And I have a crowdfund on my website, which is Roth's Child, a Memoir. It links you directly to GoFundMe. So nobody, if anybody wishes to donate, which I would appreciate, it'd be great. The show is also going to be filmed so that it'll be streamed. And again, my example with my show is exactly what we're doing with your show. We're showing people that that's what true friends do. They listen. They admit that when one was wrong. You clear the air and you move forward. And sometimes when things are broken and they heal, most times they heal stronger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. After, I think, I wasn't going through a bad time anymore now, but part of me was empty, like there's a hole. And I know when I reached out to you and you communicated back, and that just completed the hole, closed up. Even though I haven't seen you, but to know that the person that I loved, I shouldn't say love, I said loved again.
I was waiting for that correct.
But the person that is back, and you're busy working and I'm busy working, but we always find time to text every now and then. And I'm over what I went through. I'm glad that what I went through is over. I'm glad that part of my life is gone. I just do my thing and do my working and do my whatever. And I now have Andrew by my side. I think that's something that is great. I have someone to talk to now. He is there to talk to me now. He's not worrying about himself. He's there to listen. And that's why we're doing this today. We both had journeys. They separated, and now they're back together again. And you have something special and different in your life than what you were back in New York. And I'm in a better place in my life as well. What more can we ask for, right?
Amen. That's it. Doesn't get any better than that.
So, it's funny, though, because after we talked, all the memories flooded back of all the stuff that we did. When we went to, remember we went to the West Hamptons for vacation? That was great. We drove up to my wife at the time. I won't mention her name because it's a horror story in its own. But we went up to the Hamptons with you, and I can remember that video. Do you remember that video that I took? That you ran down the yard and tackled her when she was on the phone?
Yep.
I died. How about the videos of me in the Squid Man uniform? Do you see them? Remember that?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember those. That was great.
He did a movie, guys. He did a movie called Squid Man. It's like a comedy superhero movie. So I went into his room and put it on. We videotaped it as I was the Squid Man. That was some great times. I can remember you were still drinking, but I can remember that you hated it when we had to leave, because that's our relationship.
Yeah.
You had someone to hang with, and when I had to leave, it really upset you. And that's how close that our relationship was. I was there for him, and he was there for me. I remember that. But there's some great times, though. Ray Wade, Melissa and Nicholas, we were all at your house in Long Island.
Yeah.
We did some good stuff. A lot of memories that are fun times. Yeah, it really was. And then you were in New York for that one movie, remember? We were I came up there. My grandson was going to be in a movie with you. You remember that?
Which one was it?
That was the one that you end up not doing.
Oh yeah. The production wound up shutting down. You were already like,
Right, and then you were at my house. We did an interview.
oh
Yeah,
man, yeah, that guy was a.
that was during your bad time. Right? Yeah, but I can remember you even came to family functions. You remember? Remember the big outbursts? We ended that quick and got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
A lot of great times. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It wasn't just you and I talking on the phone. It was getting together and vacations and coming to my home in Bronx, PA back then. We got you a motel room and we just hang out the weekend, family reunion. We had a lot of great times. And that's why it bothered me so much when the communication ended. But now I'm 56 years old. You're 54. I got the gray hairs.
Two.
Excuse me. And I got the gray hairs and I love it. And you don't have hardly any. You suck. But it's just I learn a lot. You learn a lot in life. You make mistakes and you just gotta ask for forgiveness and get better and move on. And that's what we did.
Yep.
And I'm anxious to see what you're doing. That's why you're on here. Your memoirs. But
yeah, it's called Roth's Child, a Memoir. And what it is,
Yep.
basically, my mother, she remarried my adopted father, Mark Roth. He adopted me when I was 1, and he was a very abusive father, and not only to me but to my stepbrothers. And I grew up becoming. It really affected me as a child, and I become really violent as a kid. I acted out a lot. I don't think I got him. I was in and out of. I wound up getting sent away from 15 to 18 years old. And long story short, got into college, and acting was the one thing that kind of focused me. But I was always violent, got into fighting, and learned how to fight at a very young age, which in my older age, it wasn't good. I became an alcoholic, and I kind of lost everything. So my story it's like all of that entire arc, and then how I got back into basically connected with my family, God. I mean, God saved me the entire way. I believe in spirit, God. I am not a religious person, but I am deeply spiritual, highly empathetic, and I'm an empath, so I can pick up on the feelings and of others, which is why it enables me to be such a wonderful actor. I can emote really well. I can pick up on the sensitive things, and again, that's my goal with my show, to show that people, forgiveness is not weakness, and vulnerability is truly our superpower. That's where we can be closest to the feeling of Christ, or whatever you want to call it, Vishnu, if you want to call it Muhammad, if you want to call it Brahma. It's all love, and the closer we can move to that, then we're growing and evolving. It's not about becoming hateful and angry because there's evil in the world. Well, there's so much goodness. You got to look for it. You got to look for it, because the darkness will make itself known so that you don't see the light. You got to look for it. There's so much goodness out there.
Yeah, and I know if you know this, I have let me see, my daughter Kayla, my biological daughter Kayla, she had 2 children, and my son, Andrew Scott is his name. We don't speak. It's more of a stepfather thing, and I tried to reach out, but he was no interest. But he has 3 children, and I still have that battle in my life. I mean, that's going to be something that I have to deal with myself. But yeah, I have. How many grandchildren I had at the time.
Yeah.
Now I have 5 more, but it's something that I strive for. I mean, it's kind of funny, ironically, Andrew. Our son's name Andrew, and that's before we even remembered who we were. And that's the most weirdest part. We talked about that. Andrew Scott's his name,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my first name and your first name. So God works in mysterious ways. We just didn't really know. But that's a journey that I have to continue to try and fix. I mean, if it takes me till I'm 70, I mean, that's just the way it is. But
And
I
it's the
think
journey. It's never the destination. There's no timetable. You just got to keep moving towards
correct.
what makes you feel good and like vulnerable and sensitive, not what makes you feel tough and angry and cold and what's the word I'm thinking? Cynical. Just cynical. Oh, go.
Yeah, there's never a destination. If there's a destination, then that would mean that there would be no journey.
Well,
It'd be
there
too quick.
is a destination.
There is.
We have, but it's about the journey getting there. All
Right.
the experiences, the wisdom we gain.
That's what I meant.
Once we get there, it's over.
Right. And our destination is almost there.
Well, if we have it, we have to have your compass set to something. For me, no.
Yeah.
And as long as the days goes, it's always God. It's always love. It's always spirit.
Yep.
And it was always that way, even as a child. But I allowed the experiences that became imprinted upon me to pull me off of my path. And that's what I'm trying to share with people. You gotta, and the only way to get back on your path is forgiveness. What Yoda said it best: fear leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is, pretty much, something like
Yeah. But the good thing out of this whole conversation is I bit the bullet in my pride to reach out, not thinking that you would ever reach back, but you did. That's the whole point of this whole conversation that we're having. And when you reach back, it's like a cloud, a weight just lifted off of me. And that moment, that day changed my life. Now you have no idea how much it changed my life. It's just the weirdest thing that I went through that, I was happy. We all have our moments where we're happy and we're sad. But there was always something weighing me down.
I know what you mean.
You know what?
It felt good to me too. It felt right.
At the time, I didn't really understand what was holding me down. If it was, the marriage that I had that ended, I didn't know. I kind of knew it wasn't that, but I knew it was something. And then once you reached back, I went to work that day feeling so much different than I ever have before.
You
It's
know
just
what
that
song's
simple.
playing in my head?
What's that?
The song's playing in my head. Turn around.
Every now and then. Oh my God, that's funny.
Turn
But,
around, bright-eyed. Every now and then I fall apart.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to find that clip of that song and just play a little piece of it.
Not now.
There we go.
Yeah.
But it was great speaking to you. I mean, I know we wanted to do this,
Yeah.
and I think it's best for both of us. And I'm going to take this moment and move forward. I've been moving forward, of course. A lot has changed in my work lately. I've got a lot more responsibility, and I guess it's a good thing. It's not easy running two T-Mobile stores at one time, but I'm succeeding at it, and that's a good thing.
Right on.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I know you must get to bed, and I must get to bed. It is 8:45 p.m. in the East Coast. Is there anything else you would like to speak of?
No, sir. I'm just so glad that we were able to connect again, man. This is such a great way to have done it too. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it was odd to me. It's kind of funny you mentioned that. I haven't seen Andrew Roth call me as much as in so long. It's like, oh my God, Andrew's calling me today again. It's just a nice thing. It really is. Thank you, Andrew. We will have some more things in the future. We will get together. If I get some vacation time, I'll be heading to Florida.
Florida.
To
So
see
flow.
you. The way it looks right now, I'd be in Kentucky in January for a movie role. Kind of excited about that.
You should be.
A lot of them I missed because of my job. I couldn't take off. I lost a lot of parts, but that's part of life. You know, we have to work for a living and pay our bills. And if you're not, you know what I mean? You can get paid, but not as much as you would at your job. But everyone understands that. I mean, I'm 56. So once I hit that 60 mark, maybe when I'm financially good, I'll just say, you know what? Screw it. I'll go do a movie. But you know what? It's always an opportunity for you and for me. Of course, you're more established than I am. You did it full time there for a while. Guys, if you haven't seen it, look up Andrew Roth on Tubi. You can find a bunch of movies there. Actually, two of mine are in there too, believe it or not.
Nice.
I actually, real quickly, I don't know if you noticed, I went through all the reviews that I've done, the movies that are in Eliason and all of them, and I re-edited them. I actually added the trailers to all the reviews and redid them on YouTube. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but man, I went through those movies. Oh my God, I remember this one. Oh God, this one here too. There's a lot that you were in that I have.
Wow.
Wow. You got to check it out sometime on YouTube channel. You'll find it. But it was great talking to you again, Andrew.
You too, brother.
And keep in touch, and we'll get there.
We're already there.
Well, you know what I mean. I need to get through my own issue with my kid. That's my next journey. That's what I meant to say.
I got you.
But it'll get there.
One
Great
day at
talking
a
to you,
time.
Andrew. Great talking to you.
Great sharing.
Hopefully, the listeners get an idea. And I'll post the links to your memoirs on the YouTube channel. And we'll go from there. You take care, Andrew.
You too, Scotty. Thanks.
Love
for
you,
the
brother.
call. Love you, man.
Take care.
All
Talk
right.
soon.
Ciao.
See ya. See ya.